Well, Al, we're back in the Gunners Club again.
Well, I am. You live here.
Good point. And what a good place to live.
It's not a bad place. Not a bad place to have a beer and a chat about.
Why stop at one?
True.
We got another episode of Does This Pass a Pub Test?
And this one's going to be a doozy.
A doozy. Early 60s, wasn't it? 61? 62?
I wasn't born yet.
You weren't?
But
I'm
you're
trying
right.
to think when it was. It was around about then. I haven't got... yeah. We don't rely too much on facts and figures here. We've had too many beers already, so, you know.
And how many... Well, first you got to tell them the topic.
Yeah, I'm keeping them in suspenders.
Oh, right.
Have we, as they claim, ever been and landed on the moon? There's a lot of conspiracy talk saying that we haven't.
Yep.
But is it a conspiracy if it's true?
Yeah. Try and prove whether it's true or not is another thing.
Yeah.
I guess everyone's seen the footage when we were kids, and most people don't go back and keep looking and watching that footage that we've all seen when we're in primary school. Well, I was in primary school. He was probably in secondary school. Yeah. And we don't tend to go back there and keep reliving that footage. But I have, and it looks dreadful. It doesn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me when I actually witnessed it when I was in primary school. I called BS on it back then, and I still do today, even more so. That's me. I just couldn't believe that it could be possible, because if you do believe that we did, you must believe everything else the NASA says, and I don't. That could be another pub talk.
Yeah. Are you a conspiracy theorist?
Well,
I've got a tinfoil hat back here.
So, yeah.
So why don't you believe what NASA says?
I don't believe a lot of what NASA says. I believe that some of it could be true, but I don't believe a lot of it. I think it's there as a bit of a smoke and mirrors and to keep us occupied while we're concentrating on what they're supposedly telling us while they're doing something else.
Well, with that smoke and mirrors, I think you're very right, because keep in mind when this was happening.
Yep.
This was in the middle of the Cold War.
Yes.
Where America was trying to unite the nation with all the black segregation problems and so on that they were having.
Apartheid, is it?
Well, the American version of apartheid, yeah, right. And there was, you know, a presidency, an election looming and so on. And, you know, it's us, America, against the Soviet Union. You know, the guys with the white hats against the black guys with the black hats. Mm-hmm. We got to win. We'll win at any cost.
And what are they winning?
I suppose moral superiority, to say we could do it where you couldn't, ha 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 ha. Mm-hmm. That sort of thing. Winning at any cost, even if it's cheating.
Or faking it.
Yeah. Which is the same thing.
Yep. Which then, why didn't Russia land on the moon the next year and claim that they had? Why didn't that happen? Very
good question. Don't know. Maybe they went broke. Oh, but no idea.
Who was the president back then in Russia?
Khrushchev. Yeah. Oh. He's the guy that went to the Soviet Union and took off his shoe and started belting it on the table.
Right. Okay. Yep.
He's the one that shipped the nukes to Cuba.
Oh, there you go. See, he's got some facts and figures.
Yeah. Before JFK told him, move them or lose them.
Right. If you see a little bit about war, in case you haven't seen, he does know a little bit about the war side.
Oh, I'm just
a history buff. But do you think we landed on it?
Do I think we landed on it? I think if we went today with the computer power and the technological advances that have happened
Since then.
over that time,
Yep.
we would easily do it today. I have no doubt that we could easily do it today.
Remembering that, like, one of these phones is probably 10 times more powerful than what they claim to have used to land on the moon. I'm just saying 10 times.
Computer power.
Could be even more.
Yeah.
Could be even more. Everything. Yeah, we use our phones for everything, emails, and it stores.
100 times more powerful computer power.
Yep.
Oh, that's flashing.
Yep. That means somebody loves me.
No, oh, okay.
And
obviously, they haven't got good taste.
And don't forget, we've all remember the footage of the landline phone. I think it was green. The old coil cord.
Yeah.
He did speak to him on the moon, didn't he? They plugged the cords in everywhere and pushed buttons everywhere and... Hello?
Is this a collect call?
I mean, we had trouble. We live in the western suburbs of Melbourne and, I could have trouble phoning a chooka, for God's sake. But somehow, they got it to the moon. Now, and where did they do all their training for this? Where did they practice all their training? Not in what area, location, but how did they train for this? It was all underwater.
Oh, okay.
We never knew that back then, but when I have looked into it as a smart adult, you do see all the footage of underwater training.
Okay.
Okay, they can say, yep, well, we've got to train. We've got to simulate weightlessness or all that sort of stuff. But
yeah.
I don't know. It still doesn't fly with me. Do you think that they faked the footage back then just to be that winner? So they were the first? So do you think they did the filming underwater and they got their rovers driving around?
Well, I don't think I'd like to say how they did it, but I am very sceptical that they actually did do it.
Well, and we all saw when, what was it, 4 or 5 of them? I can't remember.
Yeah.
4 or 5 of them. When they came back to Earth and they're all sitting along having that conference and the whole world was watching.
Yep.
Wouldn't you think you'd have a smile from ear to ear? You'd be so rapt. Yeah, we've done it. Yeah. But if you actually go back and look at that footage, these guys look like the saddest blokes that just had their soul ripped out, and they didn't look happy at all. No emotion on their face. Blank stared and just answered a couple of questions. It's like all their dreams and hopes were shattered. I think that they were told all the way up that they were going, and then obviously went down some sort of hidden chute myself. And then a couple of months later or whatever it was, let's go and do an interview, and you got to tell everybody what you thought. And when you see their reactions, I mean, if we all think with a logical brain, you couldn't hide your excitement. You would still be grinning ear to ear, going, "Oh, we did this, yeah." But I don't know. I didn't see any excitement in their faces. I thought if you've been told to shut up and put up sort of thing and just answer those questions, I think you just, okay, this is just a job now. We didn't do anything exciting. Anyway, that's what I got out of that video, and you can re-watch those videos. They're probably all around TikTok and YouTube.
What's that, the guy's name, that astronaut that, supposedly made that famous statement,
Neil.
What Neil Armstrong, was it?
Neil.
Yeah, one small step for man.
One giant leap for mankind.
That's the one.
That's
you
the one.
know
Oh,
it. You know it.
is
Hey? He famously hasn't done any interviews, or maybe only a couple.
That's right.
He was stum about the whole thing all the way along.
And I didn't realise this for a couple of decades. Well, only really looked into it maybe 10 years ago. That he turned into a depressive alcoholic. Didn't do interviews. Didn't want to talk to anyone about it. Why is that?
But very recently, as a very elderly gent,
Oh, yeah.
He made a deathbed confession.
There you go. Well, we're only talking about this 5 minutes before I got here. I didn't even realise he passed away.
Yep.
But
made a deathbed confession on video saying it didn't happen.
dun, dun, dun!
Yeah. Now, you can take that in multiple ways. He's an old man, he's senile, his memory's gone, he was sick, so, can you expect him to say anything else? But, usually a deathbed confession is something that you've been holding very close to your chest, and I've got nothing to lose now.
Yep. That's right.
I'm going to tell it as it is.
It's a bit like when you're pissed. You just say things.
I wouldn't know about that.
You blurt things out. Yeah, that's right. It's like truth serum.
Yeah. And you know how we like the truth.
Well, that's what we're here for. But and the other guy, Buzz Aldrin, he's done a few videos himself where he's actually portrayed to little kindergarten kids that he didn't go, and he would like to know why and things like that, and you can all look them up as well. He's probably done about 4 or 5 videos where he's slipped the tongue and said he didn't go.
That's remarkable that he's still walking around then.
Yes.
Because usually they have mysterious accidents.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's it is remarkable, but he might be labelled as, I know he's getting old and senile. But
yeah.
I don't know how they're marketing him at the moment, but anyway, that's on there too.
There is one last thing that makes me think it didn't happen. Now, I've got no proof. We're just sitting here in a pub having a chat with, like a couple of blokes do over a beer.
That's it.
So, we don't know what goes behind the scenes. We only know what we see, what we've been told, and we're just piecing it together, just like you guys are.
Yep.
So, if we went way back then in the early 60s, that means that the human race has accomplished something that is just out of this world. All right? Yeah. Seriously, that is incredible. With all the advances that we have made since then, why are they finding it difficult to go back?
Well, that's true. Yep. There's no explanation of that one. So with the advancements of technology, you'd think they'd be able to go there in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Look, there's multiple countries now, Japan, China, you name it. They're all... Brazil, I think, is another one that's recently sent a rover or some bloody thing over there to collect samples. I think one of them went to the far side of the moon for the first time. The dark side.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, whatever.
Yep.
So there's people sending shit up.
Yep.
But why hasn't people gone back like we did? Plant that flag, this time put some bricks around it, paint it white, make it pretty,
And give us a GoPro. With all the advancements of movies. Why are we looking at this some grainy, sketchy, crappy movie when all the advancements of technology of videos now?
Yeah.
Why can't they have that just floating there and zooming out on it? Zooming in.
Just zooming.
Doing something. But we're left to have this imagination from when we were kids, and it's funny, when something keeps getting portrayed to you, and with pictures and words and your school and your teachers and your parents, if it's said it enough times, you tend to believe it. And I think that's what that repetitive nature is. But I don't know, that's just me.
It really defies... I want to believe it. I want to believe that we did it.
Cool. It would be pretty cool if somebody did land it on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why haven't we been back? They say they brought back rocks and samples and dust and shit.
Oh,
don't they?
If they said it, it must be true.
Ah.
I'll bring a rock next week from my house, and I'll tell him I went to the moon. No, Mars. I'll say Mars.
Oh, Mars.
We've already been to the moon.
Make sure it's a red one.
That's right. Yeah.
So, honestly, I don't know which category to put this in. Does it pass the pup test or is it fishy? I'd like to believe that we went. I really, truly do.
I think it'd be cool. We've seen enough fiction movies.
But I'm really not sure that we could have done it back then.
I don't
We
think
could
it's
easily
possible.
do it today. I have no doubt about that. If they put the same energy into it
Yep.
as they reportedly did then,
Yep.
all that money, in today's figures,
Yep.
got Elon Musk involved and, all these blokes that do this shit now,
Yep.
they put their head together, they'd land blokes on there, by the container load.
Well, I guess we could go on and on and on, all different tangents from this topic, but you've got to take off from this Earth we're on, and the same people that told you that there is a moon and we can land on it, also tell you the stats of this so-called Earth that we're on. So that's what I mean. If you believe one, you got to believe more. Well, I suppose you don't have to believe everything, but they try and get you that way, which then means you'd have to believe that all their stats on how fast we're spinning, how fast they're spinning, how fast we're going that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. Well, it's. I think if you actually look at the figures of how fast Earth is spinning, how fast we're moving forward, and look, you'll have to look this stuff up, but I think they project Earth is spinning at 66,000 miles an hour. 66,000 miles an hour, which I don't believe that. I don't feel that. I don't see it. I don't feel it. And it's moving upwards, I think, at 1,000 miles an hour. Right? Now, I don't know if you've seen those videos with the guys in the G-force thingos.
Oh, yeah.
And they can't hold their shit together before they spew. And I don't know what the record is. It could be 8 Gs or something like that.
Yep.
Have a look up if you're doing 66,000 miles an hour or 1,000 miles an hour. Have a look at the G-forces in there. Now, have a look at the space shuttle that apparently landed on the moon. That big sort of brick-looking thing with the tiny wings.
Yeah.
The thing that took off. It was a little pod thing that landed back here. I don't know, and we all the heat and the going through the Van Allen belt. And
in the atmosphere, and it burned up.
Burns. We all saw the great fictional movies about that. Have a look at what G-force they reckon they were doing in that too, and compare that to the SR-71 Blackbird and how much G-force that can actually fly at. You'll find that the Apollo craft was meant to do something like 10 times the speed of an SR-71 Blackbird. Well, that doesn't make sense because it was like aerodynamic as a brick to compare to the SR-71 Blackbird.
Yeah, but that's why they had to have all those heat shields on it.
Oh, the heat shields. Right, that made it more aerodynamic.
No.
No, just stopped it from melting.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So, looking at it as an adult, I definitely don't believe it. It would be cool. It would be cool if we did. I just don't believe it. Is this too conspiracy talk for a pub test?
There will be no stone unturned in our conspiracy talks.
We will talk about anything.
Yeah,
right. Beautiful.
That's it. I like that.
Yep.
Bottom line for me is I would like it to be true. I have a hard time believing it.
Yeah, me too.
I have a hard time believing it.
Yep.
Today, I believe we can do it.
What do you guys think? I'd like to know the population of did we or didn't we? I'd love to get an answer back in a few weeks when people have watched this.
Yeah. But don't give us an answer like, oh, but the government told us so it must be true.
Yeah.
Please don't be that childish.
Use your noggin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. I would like to know.
And maybe
I would like it to be true.
Maybe, like if you still got a nana and a pop, or your grandparents, what do they think? It's interesting to see what they think too. Some people believe it straight away, and some people didn't. I've got elderly relatives that no way that didn't happen, and I've got a couple that said yeah, of course they said it happened, which some people are just so hell bent on believing the government, and that's sort of one of the reasons why I think they wanted to win this race, because they want a big portion of the population, or all of them, if they'd love it, to believe in the government like they are so wonderful and so fantastic. I can't believe that they can do such a wonderful thing, and it would be great, as we say, it would be great if we did land on it. And I think they want the public to look at them with just, look at these fantastic people, what they can do.
Yep.
So then you're actually looking at every single thing that they say and do. It's a way to get your attention and look at me, look how
And to
great
get your
we are.
trust.
And to gain your trust. Yep. And
Which is a mistake right there.
well, I mean, we grew up as a Catholic Christian country. It's a Christian country, and to pull you away from religion and to steer it into their direction would be a good thing in their book.
There's a whole new topic right there. I love it. Well, let us know what you think, guys, and give us a like and subscribe. There'll be more soon.
Thanks, guys.